right, so another day in the books for the Cleveland Browns. Shedeur Sanders absolutely dominated with the first team today, even though...
What happens when an incredibly talented young quarterback steps onto the practice field, absolutely dominates the first-team defense, but finds himself completely sabotaged by a veteran wide receiver who suddenly forgets how to catch a football? We are currently witnessing one of the most toxic, highly controversial dynamics in the entire National Football League unfolding right now in Berea. The Cleveland Browns front office is desperately trying to convince the fan base that Deshaun Watson is the undisputed, highly capable starting quarterback. But the absolute...
Cleveland.com joins us now. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It is. That's great to have you. Did we call the quarterback competition too soon, Ashley? Does Shedeur still...
Can you turn on the unedited practice tape? A completely terrifying reality emerges. Shedeur Sanders is operating at an incredibly elite level, but he is being actively dragged down by veteran players who seem entirely unbothered by their own massive failures. You are locked into NFL Zone Talks, the absolute, undisputed authority on the raw, unvarnished truth behind the biggest cover-ups, positional battles, and locker room agendas shaping the...
In your hands. This dude is sabotaging Shedeur Sanders, man. I'm calling it out. If it was Deshaun Watson throwing that to him, he would have hung on to the ball. Now, look, the ball's just all on the ground. This dude is terrible. He's not a number one wide receiver. This dude is masquerading as a number one. He's not that guy. It is what it is, man. Jerry Jeudy stinks. Now, let's take a look at the QB tracker on the day. Shedeur Sanders, 17 of 25, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Deshaun Watson, 11 of 16, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions with the twos. So you threw...
Make sure you absolutely smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and let's dive directly into the incredibly shady reality of the Browns quarterback battle. To truly comprehend the sheer, mind-numbing absurdity of the current depth chart, you have to look directly at the raw daily practice statistics. The coaching staff finally handed Shedeur Sanders the keys to the first-team offense, and his response was absolutely devastating. Sanders delivered a hyper-efficient 17 of 25 passing performance, securing 3 beautiful touchdowns.
Training camp, joint practice. I'll ask you, are we expecting fisticuffs tomorrow with the Bills?
You know, I'm really curious. Todd Monken today, it was funny, like talking about these other fights that have happened. He's like, you do all you can to try to stop them, but, you know, you're kind of...
With absolutely 0 interceptions against the starting defense. On the adjacent field, Deshaun Watson was demoted to working with the second unit. His performance was highly concerning. Watson finished a mediocre 11 of 16 passing, managing only 1 touchdown, while throwing 2 brutal interceptions directly into the hands of the backup secondary. On paper,
did the sort of procedural stuff. He led drives that led to points on the board, even though he himself did not throw a touchdown. So those are things we know matter to Todd Monken as he's installing a new offense. But for me, the next step would be, okay, can he get back to making, obviously, these explosive...
The young rookie completely annihilated the $250 million veteran. Yet, if you listen to the establishment media, Watson is still the undisputed starting quarterback. But the absolute most infuriating, highly toxic aspect of Sanders' dominant day wasn't the media coverage. It was the completely embarrassing lack of effort from his veteran wide receiver. The unedited practice film of Jerry Jeudy is currently setting the internet completely...
Kind of B. He didn't need to be spectacular, and he cleared that bar, by the way. But I think it's interesting because there are a couple more bars from where he is now.
On fire. Sanders identified the coverage, stepped up in the pocket, and delivered an absolute, perfectly spiraled dime directly into Jeudy's hands. It was a flawless, NFL-caliber throw, and Jeudy completely fumbled it. He dropped a wide-open, uncontested pass that hit him perfectly in the breadbasket. The fan base is absolutely livid, and many are openly questioning if the veteran...
Salt a little bit. We've seen that throughout camp with both guys. So, and also the thing about today's practice, it just kind of felt like nothing overall. Like, I don't know how much stock I would put in today just because of that. It felt like they were in shorts. You didn't see some key veterans out there or key veterans who just were not doing a lot today. So I really think everyone's kind of saving it for tomorrow. And like, it just wasn't a good, you know, hard-fought day overall.
Receiver is actively sabotaging the rookie to protect Deshaun Watson's job. When a highly paid receiver masquerading as a number one option cannot catch a perfectly thrown football, it is entirely unacceptable. Despite this glaring disparity in actual on-field execution, the local media is desperately trying to shut the quarterback competition completely down. During a recent afternoon radio broadcast, Browns beat reporter Ashley Bastock openly admitted that she believes the Week 1 starting job is a completely done deal. She pointed to the fact that Todd Monken named Watson the starter for
Gage Larvidan on the near pick and the second pick he threw, and the first one was intended for Tylan Wallace. So, I think that is sort of a tough day when you're throwing picks when you haven't been. But also, I think when you're not with the starters, that is, take it with a grain of
first preseason game against the Chicago Bears as definitive proof that the coaching staff has made their final decision. Bastock argued that because Watson went out and executed basic, rudimentary game manager duties during the exhibition game, he officially solidified his position. The front office is actively lowering the bar for success to an embarrassing degree simply to justify keeping their massive financial investment on the field. But that massive financial investment comes with an incredibly toxic, highly volatile relationship with the actual fan base. During his recent press conference, Watson coldly stated that he absolutely does not care if the home crowd actively boos him when he steps onto the field. But as Bastock brilliantly pointed out on the radio, you simply cannot exist in a vacuum when you are operating under a $230 million guaranteed contract. The front office and the coaching staff have to be terrified of exactly how Watson will mentally handle a hostile environment inside his own stadium. If the offense stalls out on the very first drive of the regular season and the dog pound unleashes a chorus of boos, will Watson's confidence completely shatter? The coaching staff is deeply aware of the fans' intense frustration, and they are playing an incredibly dangerous psychological game. The absolute, undeniable dividing line.
The quarterback competition is pretty much done, and Deshaun Watson's going to be the guy. Let's take a listen.
Wednesday here during football season. We moved today to 420 because of the old practice dealio. And on the Wise Yard Right, We Make It Right, call Kyle Wright hotline. Ashley.
Between these two quarterbacks is their ability to actively generate game-changing, explosive plays. As the radio hosts correctly identified, Deshaun Watson has proven he can manage a basic offensive drive, but he has completely failed to push the football vertically. During the preseason opener, his passing chart was entirely devoid of deep shots. Conversely,
I think I don't know the answer to exactly how he's going to handle that. I think we're going to have to see over this week and then presumably over the third preseason game if he would play in that one.
Actually, I thought it was interesting. He cleared the first bar for me on this last Saturday. I said I needed him to look like a professional quarterback, right? I needed him to go out there.
Shedeur Sanders is actively keeping this competition alive entirely because of his elite, explosive arm talent. He is consistently delivering breathtaking deep balls, perfectly leading receivers like Luke Floria and Gage Larvidan down the sideline. If Todd Monken truly wants to operate a dynamic, high-scoring offense,
it's a done deal here. This has kind of transitioned for me.
Deshaun told you guys at the podium today he doesn't care whether or not he gets booed or the fan reaction to when he actually gets in the game on Saturday. Do you feel like he does care, in fact, what the fans have to say?
I think that's sort of the $1 million, $230.
he absolutely must have a quarterback willing to attack the deep third of the field. Right now, only one quarterback on the roster is proving he can execute that assignment. And yet, the media continuously attempts to provide cover for Watson's massive failures. When asked about Watson's 2-interception performance during the latest practice, the media immediately rushed to his defense, claiming that it didn't feel like a hard-fought day because the players were operating in shorts and helmets. This is the ultimate, highly manipulative double standard. When Sanders throws a single interception, it is heavily analyzed and criticized. When Watson throws 2 interceptions to the backup secondary, the media completely writes it off as a meaningless walkthrough. Elite mental processing and decision-making.
How he's going to handle that, I do think, the Browns have to have at least some curiosity about how he's going to handle that. I keep thinking about that Todd Monken answer after the Bears game on Saturday where he sort of acknowledged the frustration that fans have had with Deshaun Watson in the past, right? So
should be fully functional regardless of whether a player is wearing full pads or gym shorts. We are officially standing at an absolute, undeniable precipice regarding the future of this incredibly talented football team. The entire organization is currently packing their bags and heading into a highly physical, incredibly volatile joint practice with the Buffalo Bills. This is the ultimate crucible. Todd Monken has promised that both quarterbacks will be heavily evaluated under extreme, unscripted pressure against an elite opposing defense. The practice field illusions are completely over. I want to hear your absolute raw, unfiltered thoughts down in the comments below. Do you genuinely believe Jerry Jeudy is intentionally dropping passes? And who do you think will ultimately perform better under the intense pressure of the joint practices? Drop your absolute best, most aggressive takes below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep your notifications on. And I will see you all in the very next deep dive.